Hey everybody, welcome to the Token Nerd Podcast, where we ramble on about geeky things ranging from Batman to pop figures to Star Wars. I'm Anthony Pettiford.
And I'm Travis Lyinks.
We're here for episode
11.
11.
One more than I thought we'd ever do. You may have noticed that episode 10 doesn't exist as of yet. But we're trying.
Yeah, and you'll also notice that we only have one video from C2E2 up as well, but that was just because of technical difficulty, which is linked to the disappearance of episode 10.
So keep an eye out. We will have a lost episode here at some point. It may go up before 11, so if you see it, it's up before 11. If not, consider it the lost episode.
Consider it the lost episode. All right, well, just some housekeeping, just so everyone's aware. Batman v Superman has been out. We are living in a post-Dawn of Justice world.
Yep.
We will have a spoiler-filled Token Nerd review coming up later this week. But just a quick overview. I thought it was a all right movie with really great scenes.
I thought it was a below average movie with some redeeming qualities.
Just to point out, I am definitely in the camp where I signed the petition to not let Zack Snyder. Scott Snyder would do a great job, but I signed the petition so Zack Snyder could not do Justice League. Not that those petitions ever do anything, but it makes me feel better.
I just think it's interesting that there's going to be a whole series of movies that are potentially in this tone. And I don't like the tone. I didn't like Man of Steel's tone, and it obviously carried and got slightly darker. So we'll see how all those other movies get.
Yeah.
Go as I have to think that Warner Brothers is at least looking at the
petitions and
the
comments.
petitions and the comments. And it's still holding pretty strong on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah,
in
don't
the
get me
fan
wrong.
world.
Rotten Tomatoes, the review it's getting doesn't reflect its box office.
And it's not
skyrocketing.
It's not going to.
The only thing is that we're in a world right now where a majority of people didn't like it.
Well, here's the thing. I think a lot of comic book people that are like hardcore, and I'm not trying to throw out everybody. If you want to hate on this, put it in the comments below. But I think a lot of comic book fans got something that they hadn't seen before. They wanted to see this battle between Batman and Superman. But I'm all for that, except it just wasn't a good movie.
Yeah,
so,
it showed what can happen when you isolate another part of your audience.
Yeah.
Even as a fan, I know the New Gods. I know Batman. I know Superman. I've read Dark Knight.
Yeah.
Or Dark Knight Returns. But this movie was just awful, terribly cut.
It was just okay. So here, and this takes back to your opinion on things. The Nolan Batman movies were not exactly great comic book movies, but they were damn good movies. Like as far as like storytelling and those kind of things. Specifically, the first two.
Yeah.
This movie had good comic elements, but it just sucked as a movie. Like the way it was cut, the way the pacing was. The some of the cheesy moments in the movie were just bad choices.
Mm-hmm.
And so regardless of at the end of the day, I just want a good movie. Now I don't think there's anything terribly egregious like against comics. There's some question about the Batman shooting people thing, but there's nothing egregious in this movie that says, they screwed up comics, in my opinion.
No.
But there's some horrible movie choices as a storytelling thing. But we'll dig into that deeper, in
our spoiler review. But we just wanted to point out the fact that it's been
still selling like crazy, which we expected.
Ben Affleck has come out and said things.
Yeah.
Zack Snyder has come out and said things. They've released a deleted scene that wasn't shown in the movie because
of the response that fans are giving it. Yeah. Well, not necessarily fans, but critics and half fans, we'll say. 30% of fans.
Yeah. But the fun thing about what we just said is that leads us to the first topic of our news week. Because in movie news, our first topic is Dawn of Justice deleted scene.
The scene that we had to release because you didn't like the movie.
Yeah. as you can see in the image right in front or on the screen right now, you'll see the fact that there is some kind of monster being. Something that looks like out of Diablo or out of the Hellboy series. But after I want to keep on Yana Justice. After Dawn of Justice came out, a clip was released that was a deleted scene that showed some military SWAT-looking characters coming into that into the final ship. Oh, also, spoiler. This is all spoiler topics. I hate to start out that way, but anyway. So Jesse Eisenberg, who played the greatest Riddler I've ever seen on TV. Anyway, he's in this pool of like mucus, and he sees this vision of it looks like what the Kryptonians were using in Man of Steel, that technology of everything being grainy. But anyway, it's holding up 2 boxes, which we now know are mother boxes.
Yep.
Which were the transportation devices used by the New Gods.
Yep.
And the character, I can only assume, is Steppenwolf. For those of you who are reading the New 52, he was in Earth 2.
Yeah, and that's what other people are saying as well, from what I've heard.
Steppenwolf, and I've heard there was one other New God that they're suggesting. But he's one of Darkseid's generals, and the clip is 44 seconds long. But if you had seen this clip, even as a non-comic fan, it would have at least made a little bit more sense that something was coming.
Well, in the the whole whatever Lex Luthor was doing in this movie.
Oh, he's Lex Luthor. That now explains everything.
Well, like whatever the heck he was doing in this movie didn't make a whole lot of sense. So it might have helped explain that, but at the same time, I don't think a 44-second clip was going to save this 2 hour and 44-minute movie.
I know what's sad is I was excited for this movie to be long, but there was just wasted
there was a
clips.
good 30 minutes of waste.
It reminded me of Sucker Punch. And for those who haven't seen Sucker Punch, look, I keep wanting to say our friend at CinemaSins, but he's not my friend.
He's just a guy that we like to watch on
Jeremy.
YouTube. But
anyway, he has created they did a CinemaSins for Sucker Punch, and you realize that movie just looked cool.
Yeah.
It was stupid. Anyway.
But it was stupid.
But so yeah.
So again, I don't think it's going to save the movie.
Oh, it wasn't going to save the movie, but
it does add a little bit to the story. Yeah, we'll get to more of that in the Batman versus Superman review.
Yeah. So we'll just move on to some other movie news. Travis, do you remember that fun movie we've been waiting for? That we asked for, we begged for?
The one that we were kind of like, wow, they're doing this, and then forgot about it for a year, and then we were like, oh yeah, they're doing this movie?
Well, for those of you who don't know what we're talking about the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. They want to call it a reboot, but it's not a reboot. It's just the first serious movie from Lionsgate. Anyway.
It's a reboot.
A while ago, we announced that Elizabeth Banks was going to end up being Rita Repulsa in the upcoming movie.
Yep.
Well, we have an addition to the cast, which is David Denman, who, for those of you who like to binge watch The Office on Netflix, like myself, he played Pam's husband or Pam's first fiance, Roy. Anyway, so David will be playing. Let's see, his name is Sam Scott, who is Jason Scott's the Red Ranger's father.
So a character that
it's a throwaway character.
Yeah, nobody cares.
Pointless. This is even online.
So if you are a fan of the original Power Rangers and quite possibly remember this character, please let us know in the comments. Because as soon as I found this out, I said, "Wow, Jason had a dad."
I know.
Question mark.
But apparently he's going to be at odds with his son because his son should be focusing on a football career rather than fighting giant monsters at 4:00 in Angel Grove.
I feel like being a football star might have been a better, more lucrative career.
Or you could be Flash Gordon, be a superhero and a football player,
or a member of the Mutant League.
But that's all we got for movie news.
Yeah, movie news was a little weak.
A little scarce, but we got a lot to do tonight, so we're trying to keep it a little slim.
Yeah.
We're gonna move on to TV news, and this is also gonna be slim. But I just want to point out basically the news that was gathered today was all by me, and it's all news that was near and dear to my heart.
Yep.
I'm a huge fan of Steven Universe. I didn't think I was going to be. It's on Cartoon Network. You can find it on iTunes, Amazon, Hulu. The first season is
on the TV on Cartoon Network. If you happen to have cable still.
Yeah, and if you're not a poor post grad student, you probably have cable.
Yeah. Or if you're just cutting the cord like I am, you don't have cable.
Anyway, so Steven Universe has just been announced that it got renewed for a 5th season. And I'm excited about that. I'm very hyped about that.
Yeah.
Except we are still waiting for the rest of season 2. They greenlit season 3 and season 4. Yeah. And if you're a big fan like I am, you're still waiting for I think the next episode supposed to be coming is either Barnmates or Island of the I think it's Watermelon Island.
Yeah.
Giant Super Watermelon Island. Yeah. But for those of you who don't know, Steven Universe is about a young boy who's raised by 3 magical humanoid aliens called the Crystal Gems. The series has created a cult following, which has created books, comics, video games, and it was created by Rebecca Sugar, who has done the music for it. There's a lot of single notes. If you're a fan of Team 4-Star, there was an episode where they said, all I want to do is see you turn into a Super Saiyan, Anyway, that was based off of a song where all I want to do is see you turn into a giant woman.
He's trying to get a Grammy there, guys.
Yeah, but speaking of which, Steven Universe was actually Emmy nominated. And another show that got a 5th season renewal was Uncle Grandpa, which actually won an Emmy. So I never got into Uncle Grandpa.
How many seasons are on TV on that one?
I think 2.
So they're giving these 5 seasons. I mean, Cartoon Network's so weird with the renewal stuff.
They're struggling.
They do this weird thing where they put a show on, they create episodes, and it's either hitting or it's not hitting with the audience. So then they pull it, and then they try to like relaunch it again, and then they get a show that's really popular, and they just like hold the episodes back. Like it's hard for a viewer to watch on a regular basis. I mean, granted, they're really marketing towards children, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
But for like people that are actually trying to keep up with the seasons, it's kind of hard to watch. And specifically some of the like DC comic book stuff, it's just hard to keep up with what they're doing because they start things and stop things, and then they start them up again. And this sounds like another case of that. I mean, I personally don't watch the show, but based on what you're saying, it's another example of Cartoon Network starting and stopping and telling people there's a show coming that it hasn't came yet.
I mean, there have been clips for the 2 episodes that we're waiting for.
Yeah.
Online from Cartoon Network UK, but it's like it's the climax of the episode.
So they give it away.
The broken down to I think they're 10-minute episodes.
Yeah.
And so it's definitely worth watching. I mean, they're all season 1's on Hulu. I've downloaded all of season 2 on iTunes.
I feel like with cartoons, the best way to watch them now is not on the channel. Just watch them on
binge watch it
because like it's just too hard to keep up. Because like I said, Cartoon Network does not keep a steady schedule. Mm-hmm. It's not like Rebels when it's going to be on, whatever day it's on every week.
But you have to give Steven Universe credit because it is a show that is crossing several barriers. It looks into, I guess, so did Clarence is another show, but they acknowledge homosexual relationships, but it's not like it's making a point.
Yeah, it's just there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And the one thing I took to this is, I grew up watching Dragon Ball Z, and it was think about Dragon Ball Z. If you took out all the main guys, all the cool male characters, and you replace them with women, and you replace all the male characters with females. That's how it is. Except Steven Universe is like the one male you see consistently in his dad, and then everyone else is a very strong, very different female character, which they don't rely on the male character.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's all I got for TV news. Also, if you want to look, yes,
we can mention something.
We're
also, if we're in a post Daredevil world as well.
I didn't know we were going to do this.
Well, we're just talking about this one.
All right, talk to me.
We're not going to spoil anything because I feel like we're still in a time where we shouldn't spoil Daredevil yet. And I personally am not all the way through. I am most of the way through. But if you're not watching Daredevil, you better be, because season 2
is
and get ready, guys. It's heavy. Let's just say it's heavy.
I will say though, I'm glad it came out at this time because what I was expecting from Batman v Superman, that
this was a
war of ideologies is what I got from.
If you're planning on buying a ticket to Batman versus Superman, you probably should just watch Daredevil.
Save your money and buy an iTunes or a Netflix subscription first.
And but I mean, it's awesome, and it is violent, and is violent times 10 of what season 1 was.
But not not nearly as violent as that massacre was.
And it's good. Every episode I'm like, man, I got to watch another. Like they have mastered this binge watching technique. I mean, it is just awesome.
And they also gave us our first look at Luke Cage.
Yep.
Not in the show, but the trailer.
Yes, the trailer
was attached to the feature, which
Yep.
looks really cool. You have Luke Cage walking in, and it's like, you haven't heard him, have you? And they start
Yep.
shooting him. He goes, getting tired of buying new shirts. And it has this it's really cool. I'm really excited.
I'm super excited that they're just killing it on that Netflix universe. And the rumor that I've heard is that they were talking about no Punisher show.
Oh,
but
I'll even come out and say I didn't want a Punisher TV show until I saw this show.
And now they're saying there's a possibility because people seem to be reacting so well to Mr. Guy from Walking Dead. I can't remember his name,
John
but
Berthel.
there you go, that guy. Everybody's reacting so well. I mean, even my girlfriend was like, "Man, he's doing this. He's like the perfect Punisher." And she didn't really know that much about the Punisher, but he is like he's a Punisher that you can kind of like relate with.
I didn't care for the Punisher movies except for
I
Warzone.
I liked it. It was just they weren't great, but
I never related to the Punisher character
Yeah.
until now.
Yeah.
I mean, he brought it. He made it very emotional.
Yeah. Well, it's the way it's written as well.
Yeah. Maybe this is a bit of a spoiler, but there's one mention that he has where they're in court, and I love procedurals. Like I love the judge.
Yeah.
With Robert Downey Jr. But there's a moment where he's talking. They're saying, "Hey, you need to plead PTSD."
Yeah.
And he has this moment where he says, "No, like that's an insult to them.
Yep.
To actual soldiers who are suffering."
Yeah.
It's just really, really good. If you're not giving it 5 or 4 stars, you're wasting your time.
Yeah, and fans of Law and Order SVU.
Oh yeah.
An early character that was on there. The actress is on Daredevil as the DA.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought that was pretty. I was like, hey, I know you. So that was cool.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna move on to comic book news. We had a couple things written down, but we're just gonna mention one main topic, and that is the Joker's true identity.
Yeah.
The Joker, Travis, is a character who, in 1989, Tim Burton wrote him in as Jack Napier.
Yep.
Spoiler alert if you haven't watched the first Batman movie.
It's a great
Something's
performance.
wrong with you then.
There's a great performance by Mr. Jack Nicholson.
Yeah, which inspired every villain in every Batman movie up until Batman Begins.
Which really was what quote unquote kind of like held up example of Joker
for a long time.
Yeah. I mean, and still people rank him still with Mark Hamill, Jack Nicholson, and Heath Ledger. I mean, that's like everybody's battling those 3 out.
Yeah.
So
but one of the famous stories is that Joker tells you a story, and there is either the failed comedian, the abuse. There's 3 different stories, but
the childhood,
the child. But basically, the Joker is just crazy. He doesn't know what his origin is anymore.
Well, and he makes it up.
Yeah. So it just it's lost in translation. But if you have been reading Justice League, I think it's the Dark Side War. There's a scene where Batman gets the Mobius chair, which belongs to the new god or Metron. Basically, it's the chair of knowledge. Batman sits down, becomes the new god of knowledge, and he asks the chair questions. Okay, who killed my parents? And he goes, ding, and it tells him Joe Chill. And he says, okay, everyone knows that. Well, not everyone, but he says, I knew that. What's the true identity of the Joker? And he goes, ding, and it tells him something. He goes, no, it's impossible. And then it goes on from there, like, oh, what a tease. And then apparently, coming up, folks, in Justice League issue number 50, which will hit shelves May 25th, the readers will finally find out who the Joker is. This will continue. This will come at the climax of this storyline when Batman reveals who the Joker is. Jeff Johns went on and told ING that the answer will be a surprise. Like even reading through, it won't be someone I've experienced or have encountered so far. Basically, I assume they're just making up a name and giving it to us. There's not going to be a character that has been pre-announced to the DC universe.
Yeah, I don't care.
See,
I don't care who the Joker is.
No, but I also got on the boat where I was like, I hate the fact that they made a Joker immortal, and where they said that he was one of the immortals. Like you said, I don't care.
Yeah.
But we live in a world where it doesn't matter.
Because the Joker must have like Instagram or Facebook or something. He's giving out his identity.
Yeah, but in 2 years they're gonna reboot the entire comic universe again.
Heck, in one you said episode or issue 50, so they're rebooting it right after that.
Yeah.
So like,
but what I mean is like it doesn't matter. The consistent. That's why sadly I don't really collect comics anymore because it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I started collecting New 52 again because I thought, oh, it'll be really cool. Excuse me, to build up.
Well, a lot of the stories were really good too. I mean,
they were.
I love the Batman stories.
Scott Snyder.
The Aquaman story. Love the. I like the Nightwing books.
Mm-hmm. I love
the Batman Robins.
All the Bat family stories.
Yeah,
were really
all the
solid.
Batman ones were good. Even even like the Catwoman stories weren't bad. Like the New 52 had it going on.
Yeah,
and then it kind of got crazy.
It did. But I just want everyone to realize that with this comes it's the passing of greed.
Well, it's
the bitterness of men.
It's not the passing of greed. It's the world we live in now, where comic book stores need something to help them sell stuff. So it's on book companies to create titles that are going to draw people in to buy books. So it's a point where we reboot the comics every so often, create issues number 1. We create all these offshoot stories, like Marvel's the big culprit of this, where they create Savage Wolverine 01, and like they confuse people into thinking it's the beginning of a story, or they just renumber comics back to 1 for no real reason other than to make people think that, oh, this is the first, I need to start here because this is the new story, right?
Yeah, but also we have Suicide Squad coming up.
Yep.
So that's just going to
It's a good way to tie it in. It's
kind
of like Civil War
Joke
2
coming up. So we have a lot of things that are coming that they're going to use this to spark.
Yeah. I mean, and
it's been 75 years.
Yeah.
Since Joker was created.
And 2 is that these big comic book companies they have to tie in with the movies. So Joker, Suicide Squad, Civil War 2, Civil War. They have to
purpose to it.
They have to keep tying those names and those characters to the movies that are going out as well,
and
which is part of the reason I think we've been getting so many reboots in recent times in the comic world.
I know, like the big rebirth is coming because like we're getting ready to hit so it's been 50 issues since at least let's say Justice League, almost 50 issues since we did the reboot in 2012.
Yep.
And we're getting ready to wouldn't it be cool if the New 52 ended on the 52nd issue? Anyway,
wow, mind blown.
But no, because Batman, for example, even Action Comics is getting ready to hit their 1000th issue.
Yeah, and they're not redoing detective comics or Action, right? They're leaving their numbering system the same from what I read.
And then but we'll have an entire episode or an episode later on dedicated to the DC rebirth.
So before we leave comic news,
okay,
I did want to mention that when we were at C2E2, I did come across a comic company called Lyinks. Not a comic company that I had noticed before.
Yeah,
but they have some interesting titles, a lot of which are reboots from like 80s properties. So like Knight Rider, Punky Brewster, a few other things. But they actually had a bunch of free preview titles at their booth, and there is some really cool stuff to check out from them. So I would definitely say that if you haven't heard of Lyinks, check out their website, lyinks.com, and we'll probably have some more reviews and things when we catch cool titles that are coming out, because I think it's just a fun thing. They're for all ages, so no dark stuff or things like that.
Please, I could do a little bit without dark right now.
Yeah, so it's just kind of a fun thing, and I'd say definitely check it out.
All right, well, that's going to leave it for comic book news. We're going to walk away from that for a while. And Travis, I'll let you take away toy news today.
So we have some exciting news that we've picked up on, that in the coming weeks we will be getting a new geek holiday. Is that what we want to call it? An internet holiday? So it's been announced that Fox has decided to create Alien Day. Um, for fans of the Alien movies, that is what we're celebrating. So it's April 26th, which is 426, which kind of represents the planets from the films, and we got some crazy, interesting releases. The biggest of which that everybody's kind of advertising is that Reebok. Yeah, Reebok. They're still around. They're releasing the Alien Stomper high tops that were created for Ripley in the film in Aliens in 1986-ish, whatever year that was. And these are like super high top, Reeboks that were originally released in the 80s, but they were done in a shorter mid top kind of look because the high top that Ripley wears is like super, super high.
Yeah.
So for shoe collectors and just Alien fans, cosplayers, this is big news if you've been trying to replicate those shoes, because you can just buy them. So those are going to be on Reebok.com.
Aren't the Marty McFly shoes getting ready to come out too? Like, aren't we going back to the?
No, they've been released in the past a couple of times. But they're usually done in conjunction with a charity auction for Michael J. Fox's Parkinson's charity. I cannot remember the name of it off the top of my hand. And usually they go for a lot of money because it's at a charity auction. So
Gotcha.
They're not a general release, but they did announce that they have the self-tying laces last fall. So they do have those now for the latest edition. And if you're a Nike fan, please note that they have incorporated that technology into some of their running shoes. So you will see self-tying laces in the near future in their running line. But anyway, back to Alien Day. There's also going to be a ton of releases from places like NECA, Funko. Dark Horse Comics is going to have some special covers for their comics that they already have an Alien title. We're also going to see screenings of the original Alien and Aliens films across the nation. So make sure to check out, different theaters across the nation. They're going to be doing that. And they're actually going to have a very interesting thing where they're going to be giving away prizes on Twitter, it appears, every 44 minutes and 26 seconds. So that's a lot of prizes.
Yeah.
But if you want to check that out, I mean, make sure you just head over and Google Alien Day. I'm sure there's plenty of sites, but we will also include a link in our show notes here where we pulled the information from, because there's a pretty good rundown on everything that will be going on 426. I mean, I'm a big Alien guy, so it's kind of exciting. It's another day. I do find it odd that a lot of our days seem to be kind of pushed together. You get Alien Day on April 26th, and then a Star Wars Day on May the 4th, and then if you like to celebrate Revenge of the 5th.
Yeah.
So, it's kind of weird that a bunch of geek holidays are getting pushed together, but it's very exciting to see kind of like the celebration of nerd, and also to see like cool releases that companies are creating for those days. So, I mean, I guess bring on more. It's every one of them is just kind of a cash grab, but
yeah,
it's
still fun.
Yeah,
why
it's
not
still
enjoy
fun.
it? Everyone wants to have what Star Wars did, which was make an event out of something, make an event out of a movie.
I almost feel like Free Comic Book Day was like the beginning of it, right?
Oh, I mean, yeah, but for this, I'm relating to something in current history, which was just awesome. We had days where we were getting Star Wars prizes. And
well, and it's also for Alien, I kind of forgot to mention this. It's the 30th anniversary of Aliens. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of tied in. It's not like they just like, oh, let's just do this. They started it on a year when it was like a big milestone for the film franchise.
Yeah. All right. Well, it's crazy. We finished this episode in less than 30 minutes.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
That's what happens when you don't have a whole lot of news to talk about.
Yeah. Thanks a lot, comic book industry.
As he drinks out of his Star Labs cup and
got this at C2E2.
And his
my favorite mug.
And his Bat Lantern shirt.
Which I didn't make.
Yep. So
anyway,
if you we're here. We're still here. So even though we don't have a ton of followers at this point, we are still looking to get those. So if you want to check us out on Instagram or Twitter, make sure to check out @token_nerd. You can make sure that if you like what you see in these videos to follow or subscribe. You can also like it the video as well. Or if you didn't like what we said, thought we said something wrong, just had a, hey, you guys are doing okay, just let us know down in the comments below. Also, if you wanted to send us our fan mail, we're still waiting on that. You can go ahead and send a fan mail to tokennerdpodcast@gmail.com, and we'll make sure to read it here on the air. And I think that's about it, right? Oh, one more thing. Don't forget, we're now on iTunes.
That's right.
So if you don't like seeing us in these videos, or if you just like being able to automatically download our episodes, make sure to subscribe over on iTunes, where you can listen to us on your iPhone.
Ballin'. All right, everybody. Well, as always, I'm Anthony.
And I'm Travis.
Stay spicy, my friends.